welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're kicking it remote. Unfortunately, it's never our favorite way to
Boo.
do it. Yeah, but that's how we're doing it
Boo.
today. And you know what? It's better than no episode at all. The schedules didn't line up the best. You had work. I have a concert tomorrow. I had a tournament to go coach today. It was tough, but in classic Ruff Talk VR fashion, we've yet to miss a week yet. So not going to start yet.
Nope. The news will continue.
Yes. And there's been plenty to talk about, like every week. I mean, to kick it off, the other week, Meta announced, actually at the Meta Connect, when they announced the Quest 3, that the Quest 2 was going to get even more powerful. And since then, I've been seeing a lot of people go, well, when's that, when's that actually coming?
When it comes.
Yeah, right. People are like, well, it is a little bit on the developers to implement into their games as well and take advantage of. But the time that we're going to actually start to see that implemented is with the next Quest update, version 55, which also solves a lot of people's networking issues that they got in version 54.
I've been lucky. I have not had that issue, but I did notice there was another update that I had
Yeah.
gotten for the same version. So obviously they're trying to fix some stuff, but
Yeah, this is the first time you're ahead of me on updates. Usually we're pretty simultaneous,
Mhm.
within at least a day the most, But now you've been a version ahead of me for like 2 weeks at a time. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I
you
guess,
were
and it's weird because it's not like we live a million miles away. So
No, Meta just likes to do their soft rollouts, and
they're doing it
luckily,
by age, bro.
yeah, seniority
All the
goes
old,
first.
all the, like the 80-year-olds,
Yeah.
they've been playing with versions we don't even know about.
uh,
That's fake news.
yeah, no, you're just being silly,
But
but
wouldn't it be funny if it really was that way though?
yeah, completely
It
by
was like the
whatever you put
reward.
in the age of your account, that's when you're gonna get the
Meta's
updates.
just showing respect to the seniors, so they would, start at like what's the oldest player base we got? Give them
but
updates first.
a lot of people were reporting kind of issues with version 54 with like
Mm-hmm.
multiplayer gaming and connecting to Airlink and virtual desktop, and it was kind of hazardous for anything requiring networking. We were lucky; neither of us were two of the affected people by that, but I saw
Uh-uh.
the reports. It was definitely a real thing.
Oh yeah, I've even seen the posts of people who updated obviously to that version and are just resting their headset until the next one comes out because they've had some, and it's just not worth the frustration to them. So that
Yeah,
really sucks.
I've seen developers comment on it, and there is like what they call the PTC, the public test channel, which you kind of get even quicker access to the next version. So for weeks, everybody who's had version 55, they're like, this fixes it. We're good. So version 55 is going to be a coveted update between the fix of the networking and also bringing the advantages of the increased power of the headset.
Little extra boost.
And then this past week, we also saw two really good game releases. One being Pixel Rip 1978, which is the third in the series of the Pixel Rip series, and this one has quite a bit of hype. It's got a official partnership with Atari. It's been pushed pretty heavy on PSVR 2, so far the reception's been great. So I'm excited to dive into that one. And then beyond Pixel Ripped as well, we also saw the release of Hubris, and we've already started to chip away a bit on that. We're not the most far, but damn, that game is pretty graphically impressive on the Quest 2.
Well, I heard rumored some of the best graphics you'll see, so I just had to know. And
Yeah, I don't know
like
if I'll say. Sorry.
one of the first things I said before even playing a second of it was these graphics look pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah, and they introduced some interesting gameplay mechanics like swimming. I've had quite a blast swimming in VR, uh, but we haven't played enough to review it. But so far
Mm-mm.
on initial impressions, that one looks like a solid release.
Oh, I would, before even reviewing it and diving into it as much as I want to, I would already tell anyone get it, like sight unseen, because I
Mm-hmm.
mean there is some hype around it anyways, but the hype seems to be legit. It's like, I'll admit it. It's damn good. It's visually good. The play mechanics are working great. Haven't had any issues. I mean, it's
Functionally,
I would put it in the amazing category right now.
yeah,
We'll see
I'd
how
say
I feel. We'll see how I feel in a week or so. But
we do have a little bit of a bias towards these story-based adventure games, you know.
I
It
wouldn't
was
call it biased if it's done well. I mean, we have to be open minded with everything.
mhm.
But
We
I'm not.
definitely
I'm
love
not
them.
gonna. I'm not laying down the bias card on this one. I'm just, because truthfully, I went into it with like, I don't know what to really expect. I
Mhm.
just know that it's supposed to be visually great and it's supposed to run good. And I, I, I mean, we talk to developers and we always ask like, was it challenging to get it to run on the Quest 2? And every single one of them is like,
They laugh
yep,
at us.
yeah. They're like, yeah, you have no idea. So it's like so far from what I've seen and played, for it to run like as smooth as it does, it's pretty freaking mind-boggling.
I had heard people say that they had trouble getting it to run on their PC VR version because it was such a heavy load. So
Okay.
the fact that it's running so smooth on the Quest 2, that's pretty nice.
Oh, I'll use the word amazing right now.
Hmm.
I don't think that's gonna change. I mean, and I'm not even that far in, so I expect it to just get better and better and better.
Yeah, one of those games, you know. Ooh, I can't wait till we get it go deeper into it because we've seen some initial gameplay elements in it and where we're at so far. Like I said, swimming. We have some basic combat. We've shot the shit out of some squids. Uh, but I'm excited to see where the story goes. So far it's pretty captivating. And then beyond that, another game that we love. We haven't been playing it the most. I'll be honest with you. We've been a little neglectful, but it's not just specifically of this game. All games right now because of Ghost of Tabor and Quantar. It's kind of eating a lot of our playtime, but a really
Sometimes you
good.
just want to have fun.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, I'm having a blast doing, one or two. Yeah, it's never one. It's more like two or three Ghost of Tabor raids, and then capping off the night with some Quantar 2v2. That's a great night to me.
Oh yeah, and the thing with Quantar, and oh, check it out. Wearing my Quantar T-shirt too.
Come on.
Um, thank you, Pumpkin VR. Or I'd be cold right now. So the thing with Quintar is like, and we both have said this before, how do you say no to somebody saying you want to do a quick match? It's like, what, you can't spare 3 minutes of your life or 6 minutes? Come on.
Hmm.
You're going to
If
shoot
the
the shit more than that just to get off the headset.
Dude, how many times are we saying bye? 10 times. We're like say peace, and then like we have a small 1 minute chit chat. We're like, all right, I gotta get
No,
off, and
dude, we were playing Ghosts of Tabor the other night with your friend Caleb there. And friggin', I was getting off because I hit my quota of before I have to go to bed because I
hmm
got work in the morning.
it was 10:30. That's good enough for you, you know.
Yep, I
Time
got
for,
to
it's
get
time
off
for
at
nighty
ten
night.
thirty. And freaking, I heard you say, well, okay, good night and all that, and I'm just gonna go do a quick Quintar battle, and I was like, all right, dude, I'm on my way.
Hmm.
Like how I mean, literally, like, and not bragging or nothing, but we do really well at it with the 2 versus 2. So
Yeah,
if you're
I mean,
smoking the other team, it's literally just minutes.
even on Friday night, you clean hopped off after Ghost of Tabor. You clean hopped
Hmm.
off. Didn't hop
Oh
into
yeah.
Quantar, so I was like, I'll do some solos, you know. I kept saying I'm gonna do one more. I did five. I only went in to do one. I did 5 rounds because I
Oh
just kept
yeah, man.
winning. I'm like, dude, if it takes
Yeah.
you 30 seconds to find the match, that's a third of the match, you know? Like it's so quick. But a game that it is so much fun, I think it has endless potential. Breachers, it's
Hmm.
probably in my opinion of the 5v5 shooters, man, it's hard to make an argument against that being the best, That one is so much fun. And they just added,
They're the only real 5v5 shooter at this
yeah,
point.
they others exist, but I agree. If I'm going to play a
Hmm.
5v5 shooter, it's gonna be Breachers.
Yeah,
And
and sorry, go
so
ahead.
no, keep going.
I was gonna say, and every time they touch the game, it's for decent updates. It's not like
Yeah,
hardly
it's
an abandoned project, and they keep making it better and better, and they're building that player base for sure. Because some people are like we are with Ghost of Tabor. There's people with breachers like that every day.
yeah, and we talk about esports potential of Quantar, but the esports potential of Breachers is huge too. and that's
Hmm.
another graphically tight one. And now they added kind of a what they call a bot takeover mode, which is really cool. It allows dead players, like dead real players, to take over remaining AI players on your team. So let's say it's just me and you, and we have 3 AI players, and one of us die. Instead of just spectating, we can take over one of the dead AI and hop back into the game.
See, that's cool. So you don't have
That's
to wait for the.
huge. That's
Yeah, that's actually
huge.
kind of dirty. But that's
And
just a mode, correct? That's not a default.
um, I haven't hopped in since the update. I think we got to go find out. But think of
Excuse
the
for
amount of
me.
time. Think of the amount of times that we're handicapped, or somebody else is handicapped on the other side, and they're stuck with 3 teammates. That's a game changer. Because you got it's just you with 4 AI, and you're facing 2 other people with 3 AI. If you die, you're done. They're gonna mull through the AI. So now that you can hop back in, grab another AI, that's huge, and take back control. And it evens the playing field a little bit more, I think, when there's handicapped player amounts.
Although I've seen some AI do some pretty dumb stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want the AI on my I don't want to be reliant on them. I want to take back over
No,
from.
yeah, no, they're not good teammates.
No, they'll give you good spots to place your bomb or place the diffuser. I mean, but other than that, nah, screw them. But I thought that was a really sound
Yeah, we'll have
update.
to jump. We'll definitely jump back into it then,
Yeah,
because I'm curious. I mean,
no,
I've heard some good things. I haven't heard any issues with
dude, it's
like
just
any
one of
negatives to it.
2023 has been brutal with great games coming out, and like not being able to devote the amount of time to them that they deserve. Like another great one of the best releases of the year. And if it came out a year ago, people would still be talking about it. But because there's been so many releases, I haven't heard anybody say it in a couple months. But Barbaria, such a freaking good game, and it's just been kind of, I don't want to use the word buried because it's still doing good, but it's like I mean, if this was a year ago and Barbaria came out in February or March, people would still be talking about it heavy in June. But unfortunately, every week, this past week, we got Hubris and Pixel Rip. It's like, fuck, there's so many good releases right now.
Yeah, I also think we're slowly reaching that point where, and I know there's a strategy to when you release your game, and aside from it being functionable and all that, but now you're gonna have to know what your, I don't want to say competitor because the genre is too small to say that, but you'll have to like really be keen to like, hey, when's the next, let's say, Walkabout DLC coming out? Because I probably don't want to release my game on
That
the
same
first
week.
3 days. Yeah, exactly. Like, so I don't necessarily think that strategy has always been used in VR, where like, I mean,
Yeah, no,
would you
people
have
got to
wanted
get
to
on the same.
release anything when Breachers came out?
No, not at
Like
all.
when Ghost of Tabor hits the store, are you gonna want to, is that the week you really think you want to release your game?
No, definitely that coordination between developers for release dates. I think that the need for it became evident this year because there were some releases that like in that week there was 5 games that came out, just an obscene amount, and then the next week was a little bit quieter. It's like you can definitely tell people aren't on the same page with release dates. Which how would they be right now? No, this wasn't an issue a year ago.
No,
But
that's what I'm saying. I can see it. It's reaching that point where either they all collaborate and let each other know what they're doing,
hmm
which is risky because if you're trying to shadow drop anything out, well, if you shadow drop it, that probably puts you in the best position.
now marketing departments need to get in meetups together. Everybody.
Something,
Yeah, we got
because
to
yeah,
get
because it's like I agree with you.
everybody
Barbaria
loses.
is probably a, and I don't remember what even came out when that dropped, but I don't know why that one's not more popular than it is.
No, there's been a bunch this year, and that's just the way it goes. It'll be super hyped for 2 or 3 weeks, and then unfortunately,
Something
a
comes
new
out.
game of the year contender comes out. Dude, when
Well,
we
and
do it,
even I'm sorry, even some of the updates that have been dropping for games this year, in a sense, they're almost like games themselves. So,
hmm
I mean, they're drawing people back to, and plus, it seems like Pop One is losing some player base, so
yeah, that's what we were
they got
talking
to go
about the other
somewhere.
week. So,
Yeah,
well,
that saddens me.
I don't know if it's the problem of just too many games out right now for shooters. Like that's a finite crowd. So, dude, there was a game I'm trying to find the name of, the Light Brigade. Remember the
Hmm.
Light Brigade too? That's another
Yeah,
great one that just came out this
that's a
year, and
sleeper. Yeah.
well, it had so much hype this at the start of the year. I mean, sorry, at the start of the release, but then, boom, new game, new game, new game. All I know is that we have our hands full for our award show at the end of the year this year, or the start of next year, because last year we did it in like first couple days of January.
Yeah, I've already got, I mean, pretty much since the end of the last one, I've already been keeping tally on things, so it
And
should be
we
interesting.
there's two big releases that are slated for either winter 2023 or holiday 2023, being Assassin's Creed Nexus and Asgard's Wrath 2. So it's like, how do you do your award show mid-December when those games might come out December 20th, December 21st, something like that. So
New Year's.
yeah, so I think we got to do the award show, just right after the turn of the year, just to be fair, because I have a gut feeling that there's going to be some last minute sleepers this year.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I'm counting on it.
and this year, beyond the actual games that came out, there's been the MetaQuest gaming showcase a couple months ago, and then Upload VR just had their gaming showcase. Hell, the coverage of their gaming showcase pretty much took up a whole episode, and the coverage of the MetaQuest gaming showcase took up a whole episode of our news. There was so much released in those times, and believe it or not, we have quite a big announcement. And now I am heartbroken to see that we are remote at the time that we're announcing it. It honestly breaks my heart, but
It's all right.
we weren't expecting to be remote. We posted on social media. Well, I'll take that back. I posted on social media, putting up the hype a bit. I definitely teased it in our Discord, so got to come through with it. A couple, I won't say exactly when, but a little while ago, we were kind of ping ponging the idea of doing a gaming showcase ourselves. And it was definitely hypothetical at the time that we were ping ponging it. It was a little bit of, do you think that, there's going to be a high expectation from ourselves? Just, Upload VR's gaming showcase is great. Meta's is amazing. It's not something we want to go in and half ass. So can we get the pull to do it, from the developers? And we were just ping ponging it, trying to eliminate the self doubt, I guess you could say. So we started to test the waters and see what the feedback was from developers and studios, and hey, can we pull this off? And very quickly it became obvious that yeah, I we can do this. So we're so excited to announce that at the start of 2024, Friday, February 2nd, on YouTube, we are going to have our first ever Rough Talk VR gaming showcase.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm
No,
so
I mean, I would describe it as what seemed like something that we could definitely do on the smallest scale has now actually escalated to, I would
yeah,
say, its own thing. But
I won't, overhype and set any false expectations, but I
it's what
agree,
it is.
it became very real quick that like, oh man, yeah, we can do this. So, like I said, Friday, February 2nd, 2024 on YouTube. Stay tuned for our first ever gaming showcase. I can't say what we have in store yet, but just it's going to
It's
be
gonna
a
be
good
cool.
time. Yeah, it's going
Yeah,
to be real
no,
fun.
it's.
Hopefully, it becomes an annual thing. We can get our rhythm in it. You look at Upload VR, who's been doing it for years. Meta,
I
that's been
wouldn't.
doing.
I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't thinking it wouldn't be an annual thing.
Yeah, and you can
Otherwise,
all.
I wouldn't. Why would I even bother?
Yeah, and I know I won't make
So
people privy of our private messages or anything, but there's definitely extensive planning going on, and we're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. So far, the internal support and feedback from developers. Thank you, everyone. The VR community is the best, both in developers and other content creators. There's no real
yeah,
hostility. Everybody's supportive. So with that, I think February 2nd is going to be a lot of fun. And then just because there's not enough great free to play games on the Quest store. I'm envious almost of anybody that just hops into VR at the Quest 3
Oh, hell yeah.
because I was a little underwhelmed with the store variety when I first got my Quest 2. That's what drove me to looking at side quest stuff right before App Lab came out. I remember I was sending you messages like, "Hey dude, look at how many, hundreds of games there are." It was quite a cool rabbit hole to go to because definitely I was a little underwhelmed, but that didn't discourage me from VR at all because I was still having a blast. At that time we were hooked on Demio and Pop One. Trust me, my time was very well enjoyed. But you look at people that are just going to hop in at the Quest 3, besides the paid content, you look at the free to play selection they have with Ultimex, Cards and Tankers, Gods of Gravity, Quantar. It's like somebody just buying their headset who goes, "Oh, I just spent all of my money that I have available to spend in on recreation. I used it to buy my headset. Now I don't have a bunch of game money to buy new games." Oh my goodness, they have so much to enjoy with just free to play games. And adding to that now, 4VR cornhole is going free to play. Uh, I think that's going to be huge. It was originally $14.99, and then it's going to go to free to play. That's huge
Have they done anything for the player base that spent the 14.99?
for people that did previously buy the game. There's going to be like additional features and arenas and stuff like that in bags and different ways to customize your game that you can buy inside the app. But if you had previously purchased the game, you have that content for free. So
Yeah, so
at
you're
least
getting a $10 value
yes, because the content costs $10 inside the game. So
if you choose to purchase it.
you get hit with
So
the
like, I
$5. So
I love seeing what developers come up with when they do make a move and they give you some, I won't say free stuff, but give you something.
which do you
So
think
it's
is
always
harder
interesting.
for a paid game to go free to play or for a free to play game to go paid? That's hard, right?
That's tough
Yeah.
because you've kind of already laid your groundwork no matter what, and it's
Yep.
like,
Both ones you're swimming out of. And we've seen examples of both being done, but it's definitely one that has to be navigated properly.
yeah, and I think it depends on the game and the
Yeah.
player base.
That'll be a good one to get some Discord
Because I
discussion
mean,
on.
I've seen free games with really large size communities that the consensus would be they would pay for it, and given the opportunity they'll donate. Like, I'll use Gods of Gravity as an example. It's like for the window that they were running that founders wall program there. I mean,
Yeah, we
it's not
kept
like
seeing it
there's,
grow.
yeah, it wasn't like one or two names on there, so, and it's
Dude,
still
we
there today.
we argued with them like, dude, just charge people. So yeah, definitely a lot of free to play games have that type
But
of
I get it
support.
too. I mean, a lot of these, like, and I'll use Gods of Gravity. That's their first VR game that we know of that we've played.
Hmm.
But we know that if they make another game, and it says it's 9.99 or whatever, because they seem like really nice guys and would probably never charge $39 for a game, but and we'd probably pounce on it because
Hmm.
we've already got experience with their product. So the expectation that the free games, Quantar is a great example. If
That's
Pumpkin
true.
VR makes another game and charges, 9.99 for it, which I'll still say Quantar's worth 9.99. Maybe not today, but 2-3 months from now, sure.
But then on the opposite side, you see a studio like Resolution, and they pump out a game like Ultimex, and they're established, and Ultimex is free to
Yeah.
play. So ooh, it's definitely. I'd love to get some feedback from that on in our
But
Discord.
then
So
people
some.
got upset when they found out they were going to have to pay for the versus mode, even though they've been spoiled with Demio free DLCs for past couple of years, you
That's
know.
true. I did see some people a little upset that Demio Battles was going to be its own standalone game,
What?
and
I have to pay for this?
instead of because they originally said it was going to be part of the Demio game. But hey, I'd rather the game be standalone and be a better game and not be restricted to being inside of a current game.
Yeah,
But yeah,
man.
definitely people were pissed. But it's like, dude, when we bought Demio, there was one map.
One map. Yeah.
That's it. And we were
And we
happy.
loved it. Yeah,
It
I
was
was
our
gonna
first
say we
ever
loved
game
it.
that we reviewed. I actually don't go listen to that episode because it's not the best. It's butt cheeks
Yeah,
quality.
let's
We've
not let's
improved.
not
But
let's not go
the
to
case in point, we loved it with one map, and now there's so many maps. You have the heroes hangout, and
dude,
it's
and it's
like, yeah,
hard as hell now too.
God forbid they want to add more content in it not be free, and people flipped out. That was
Yeah,
funny to read.
there were some upset peeps. Not
Yeah,
everybody. I mean, there's always the percentage that they get it, you know, it's and like you
but
said, I'd rather it be its own standalone than just a little clip on to the current game. So now that gives also the all right, so you pay for it and you know you're going to pay for it. You have an expectation of the quality because you played Demio. So what are
well,
they?
and to go back to the last question of which is harder to go free to play or to go from free to play to paid, well, imagine how hard it is to be a game mode inside of a game and 6 months after it's released realize that it needs to be its own game. How do you do it
Yeah,
then? So it's
you're
better to
kind of
just do.
screwed, especially if it's got a massive audience.
Yeah. So even if it doesn't need it now, if they have a little bit of the gut feeling, it's better to just do it now, right? So yeah,
You know what I would
I'm
do? Honestly, if I was in a bad situation like that where it's like you got a massive audience and you got look, you know, you're gonna have to charge for the game, blah blah blah.
or you're gonna have to make
Um,
it separate. Something.
yeah, I would just send out a, you know, would it hurt you to send a $5 donation? You know, like don't think of it as that. Just think of it as you're helping the studio.
Look, if you want it to be free to play or a free game edition, let's kickstart the feature. And if we hit our Kickstarter goal, I'll add it, you know?
Yeah.
But other
Yeah,
than
no,
that,
that is a tough debate because I guess in we always say free should never be free if it's that good, but you know, I mean, it's a tough one
yeah. Oof.
because
That's gonna be a good discussion.
some if
Uh
not all these free games have pretty good player bases.
so to kind of plug that a bit, I mean, I guess it's a perfect opportunity to take our ad break and also plug our Discord community where I'm telling people I'd love to hear their thoughts on that. We have an amazing Discord community that week by week grows, week by week gets better. There's awesome game meetups, great VR discussion, great life discussion. So definitely go check out the Rough Talk VR Discord. You can find the link for that in our show notes. And then as well, you know, one of the best ways to support the podcast besides listening to us is our Patreon. It's a pretty freaking cool thing that you can do, help us go full time. We also give you some cool podcast perks. We have an option to just support. So you're just supporting us, you're helping us on the endeavor. We also have a tier that comes with an on-air shout out that every week, on one episode a week, you get to hear a thank you with your name on it or your pet's name or something like that. We had quite a bit of fun joking about that the other week. And then, we have another tier with your name across the video, uh, on like a video ticker throughout the video. So bunch of different cool tiers. Definitely go check that out. And also, if you go to the Video Love tier, it comes with an on-air shout out as well. And as well, the on-air shout out are actually all of these tiers, even the just supporting one. It comes with access to an exclusive chat room and a cool little title. Your name's in yellow in our Discord. So yeah, you get access to a exclusive Patreon Champions Discord that sometimes we'll pick your brain about what do you guys think of this, or sneak peeks of what's coming. Just basically you get the latest on the Rough Talk VR stuff. So go check out our Patreon, go check out our Discord. Like my dad over here likes to say every week, go subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to push the YouTube more and more. So I love seeing, when you go on the insights section of your YouTube page, there's like a section that says monetizing or monetization, which is such a cool ticker to click on, but it shows you your progress to being eligible. So every week it's cool to see those bars go up. Definitely go subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us check out those or check off those requirements. So now I'll give a little shout out to the people on our on air shout out here, and then we'll go take an ad break and we'll be back with you in just a moment. So huge thank you to Jake, to Earth Witness, to Amelia, to Crispy, and to Shoes. And to be honest with you, thank you to everyone who listens each week. I hope you can go check out our Discord, our Patreon, our YouTube, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered.
What's up, everyone? Summer's just around the corner, and are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Manscaped is here to ensure your body is ready for the wild with their game-changing full-body grooming and hygiene products. Don't be that guy at the beach with the Austin Powers chest hair, and if you grew some winter man tits, the least you can do is make sure they're hairless. It's time to get ready for that hot summer weather by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR. Manscaped is dedicated to helping you increase your confidence and level up your full body grooming game with the Performance Package 4.0. The kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 4.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Whether you're trimming your chest or your treasure chest in your pants, this is the best trimmer on the market. Their trimmer features a ceramic blade designed to cut hair on loose skin and to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology. You can even trim an arrow pointing to the promised land if you're bold enough. Inside the Performance Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer because we all know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing your bathing suit all day. You'll also get 2 free gifts, the Shed Bag of a $39 value and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxers. If you're wearing sandals, you need to get the Manscaped Shears 2.0 Nail Kit. Having the right tools for grooming is essential. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. Trim your chesticles with the besticles. This episode of Ruff Talk VR is sponsored by BetterHelp. Virtual reality gaming is amazing, but let's not forget to take care of our mental health in the real world too. BetterHelp is the world's largest online counseling platform offering professional, affordable, and convenient therapy. Their licensed therapists specialize in everything from depression and anxiety to relationship issues and stress management. So, if you've been struggling to balance your love for MetaQuest VR gaming with life's challenges, BetterHelp is here to support you. They'll match you with the perfect counselor, tailored to your specific needs, and with the convenience of video, phone, or even live chat sessions, you can get the help you need from the comfort of your own home. As a Ruff Talk VR listener, you get a special offer of 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. Just visit betterhelp.com/RuffTalkVR. That's betterhelp.com/RuffTalkVR and start taking charge of your mental health today.
And we are back. So while we're mostly, I guess you could say, MetaQuest podcast in the sense that we mainly focus on MetaQuest stuff because that's the headset that we have. You know, those are the games we play. We don't have PC VR, but a game that we loved from a studio that we absolutely love, Until You Fall, made by Shell Games, the makers of one of our favorite series, I Expect You to Die.
Expect you to die.
Yeah, I was so excited. We talked about it a little bit last week, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I was so excited to see that intro credit song come out. It'll hold me over because now I can say, all right, you know, I'd honestly rather get that now than some gameplay stuff, you know?
I'm more interested in knowing the actual history of to beat a dead horse.
Yeah, that's actually some of these phrases, you know, other
I'm
ways
thinking that probably meant like they ran it to the ground and the horse is dead and you're still whipping it, trying to get it to work or run.
there's
That'd be
many
my
ways to
guess.
skin a cat. Like, what? What are we doing out here?
Why would you? Tennis
Yeah.
rackets.
What are these various ways? You know what? In fact, let's
cat gut
not
tennis
go
racket.
down. Let's not go down that route. So a game like I said that made by Shell Games that we love, Until You Fall. We actually reviewed it on the podcast. a great fitness roguelite, I guess you could say, because you're going to be swinging your friggin' arms. I promise you. It just announced that they're getting a next gen upgrade on the PSVR 2. Now, it is a standalone game, meaning that if you bought it on PSVR, you need to buy it again on PSVR 2. It's not a free update, but the game is now ported over with enhanced graphics. Their two-handed mode that's available on the Meta Quest, and some other, bonus stuff like localization in other languages and things like that. So adding slowly to the ever-growing PSVR 2 library until you fall hits the deck. Come on, man. That's a good one.
That is good.
Yeah, Shell Games is just one of those studios that delivers. And it was interesting to see them go a little bit more of a horror route in the games that they teased at the Quest showcase, but I have confidence. And just like I'm confident that this is going to be a good port, I'm confident that I Expect You to Die 3 is going to be one of the top games of the year. So I was definitely, even though we don't have PSVR 2s, I definitely had to give a shout out to that just because we love it. And now you're throwing on the Peaky Blinders hat.
It's me Peaky Blinders hat, mate. I'm
Yeah.
going into Peaky mode.
I love the swag collection that we have slowly picked up with shirts and, the pot from We Are One right here. I'm going to put a bonsai tree in this. I'm so freaking excited. Then we got
I
stuff
love my
from
Peaky cap, man.
Yeah, dude. That was a great one to score. So yeah, I don't blame you for throwing that on. I wear my Demio shirt socially, just like out and about. That's one of my favorite shirts at this point.
Yeah, I pretty much wear all the developer shirts and our shirt whenever I go out.
Yeah.
I only dress up nice for work.
So another game, or sorry, a little bit more non-Meta Quest stuff. Bigscreen Beyond. I wanted to bring this up because I've been so fascinated with this headset. I haven't had an opportunity to try it, but
I've yet to try it.
Dude, every time I see it, I go, I want to try that thing. There's been very few headsets that visually capture my attention, like the Bigscreen Beyond. It's lighter than an iPhone. It's so small. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that as much as you've seen it on pictures and videos, seeing it in front of you, it'll really hit like, yo, this thing is small. It's impressive, though. It is a PC VR headset, but the production has officially begun, and that's huge.
Yay, that's actually, that's really good news.
They were making some last minute change, or what felt like last minute changes in terms of the news of it coming out, where they were greatly improving the field of view and just other kind of what I would describe, like I said, don't quote me on it, but what felt like last minute updates and stuff like that. Who knows how production goes in the way that, how long those changes were being discussed, but they were news to me more recently. But yeah, for it to see the headset actually begin production, that means shipping's going to come soon. And then we're going to hear some honest, really good reviews. Dude, this is a headset that you order custom fitted to your head.
Yeah.
It's for you.
I just want to try one.
And I'm not against
and how do
that.
you, okay, well, that's something I got to ask then. Like, if it's something that's really custom made for your head, how do you demo one?
You don't. Right? I guess. Unless they
First
have
rule of Bigscreen is you don't talk about Bigscreen.
Unless they have like a general use.
That's great
model.
for like, dude, can I borrow your headset? No.
No, it wasn't worth.
Absolutely not.
It's form fitted for me, bro. Not you.
Yeah, that's freaking insane. No, that and Tilt 5.
Yeah. The XR scene is I wish I had a bigger wallet, It's like it's so impressive.
You see the stuff that 3 Pound Games has been posting?
No, what's that?
With the mixed reality?
What, in Space Dragon or?
Go check just a whole bunch of different shit. They just keep dropping videos.
That's a studio with Robin Mulder. They're on the ball.
But they're a great studio, but they're laying
low.
They're doing big things that shouldn't be.
Well, it does sound like too. They go a little bit more like enterprise VR sometimes too. I know they do a lot of projects in that regard. But I agree for how.
Oh no, Robin's crazy busy,
especially with speeches and stuff like that. But I agree for knowing their talent level, you would think to talk about them in the what we talk
in
about
a
as
larger
AAA studios.
sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
no,
get what
because
I get what
they're
you mean.
actually go check out their I think it's on IG. Yeah, go check
Mm.
out their IG. They got some good shit going on.
But no,
Or
dude,
interesting.
when this headset starts to ship out to people, I gotta hear firsthand impressions on people. I mean, I've heard other content creators that had one, custom made for them, ready to go. But it's always different when it goes out for mass production, than a couple
Mhm.
little prototype units going out to people. Let's see how this thing is when it hits the masses. But I think it's going to be a hit. I don't think that they're going.
If it visually is good, then yes, I think it'll be a great hit for what it does, and I think people are buying it with the understanding and purpose, getting into it that this is specifically what it does. I'm not expecting it to do anything other than outside that scope, and if they nail it, it's going to be great, and it's probably going to spark other people to go, oh, okay, we can't let these guys make all the money.
Yeah, dude, this is a software company going hardware, which is
Yeah.
hard to do, and they're doing something
Yeah.
unique, super lightweight,
No,
and
I'm excited.
it sounds like they're smart with their business intentions in the sense that, just like you said, that it's not a headset kind of for it's not a headset for all uses being the best ever headset, but for what
Hmm.
it's made for, it's going to be the best. And it sounds like that they're not trying to sell it to 20 million people and hit never. It sounds like they know it's going to be a niche little piece of hardware, but that's what they want.
First rule of big screen.
You
You
don't
don't
talk
talk about big screen. If you're meant to have one, you'll know. A foam mat will show up in the mail and press it against your face and mail it to this place. And we
Dude,
got you.
the Upload VR article that talked about this, they said the words that they use is Bigscreen Beyond's ultra compact Steam VR headset, and that is great wording for it, ultra compact, because that's exactly what it is, dude. It's just it
Yeah.
looks.
No, it I don't know. Back when I saw some prototype pictures, I guess I thought it was fake. I was like, did they take apart a headset? But then, I'm like, now I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah. And what's cool is on completely different news, but it's hardware news. We saw the Quest 3 suddenly pop up for pre-order on the Best Buy website last week. In which
Yeah, I actually, admittingly, I'll say it now. I've gone to it every day to keep seeing if it changes to like
just give me
take my
one
money
glitch.
order.
Yeah, just a pre-order. I'm not even expecting it to ship, but just
Yeah,
I
but
want
I don't want the memory that's being
yes,
advertised.
that's true. I'm not
Pound
ready to
salt.
buy until the pro model, not the pro, but the senior boy model's out.
Unless my Quest 2 will link to it, and I can just use my Quest 2 as an external drive and keep games on there that I might want, then yeah, I need bigger storage.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
No, 512 is the minimum. But we did see that on the Best Buy page. They said that this was the highest resolution display yet. And it I think that they threw out
Of
some
course they said
percentages.
that.
I think they threw out some actual percentages that allude to that as
Highest
well.
resolution for Quest.
I'm just trying to confirm. I believe they said 30. Yeah, yes, correct. It's the high. I believe they said 30% more powerful, but I'm just trying to, or 30%
Yeah,
more
no,
resolution, but I'm just trying to
think you're
confirm
right.
that. Which that between that, pancake lenses, increased actual processing power, better processing chip. Oh my goodness, dude! The color pass through, my hype is real with the Quest 2.
Dude,
But
they could have sold me the Quest 2 body with no changes as long as I knew that there was big improvements going on in there. Then I'm fine.
And
So
you really see like that, it's not lighter, but it's thinner. And you don't notice that from the front shots, but when you see comparisons of people wearing it from a side shot, then you really see the difference in how much it's sticking out from the face. And it's like, wow, that is actually a huge step forward. It's no big screen beyond at all, but it's a step in the direction, Kind of on more, I won't say grim and unfortunate news. It's kind of funny. An Xbox game studio head named, this can't be real, right? I mean, his name is Matt Booty, Booty.
and he happens to
I'm getting trolled. But no, that was an older story, but that would be funny. But Matt Booty said that he's waiting for a bigger audience in AR and VR, which is kind of comical because when you look at the sales numbers, the Quest 2 is outselling the newest Xbox. So, I mean, are you waiting for a bigger audience for your console platform too?
Well, double the price. Probably the same reason the Pro isn't going to outsell the Quest 2 just on cost alone.
Well, no, a
Those
Quest
new
2 is cheap.
Xboxes aren't $300.
Yeah, there's 600, 500, 600. No, I get your point too, but it's just a funny statement overall. Like,
Oh
well,
no, I get it.
what's the audience size that you're waiting for, bro? You need 1 billion freaking people to be in this headset before it's worth it. So it just seems like people stuck in the sand. It was a
I
weird
think
thing
it
to
was
hear.
just I think it's an off. I'll take it as an off the cuff comment, but I mean, and I love Xbox, but
Hmm.
their store. If you go look at their store and they're coming soon, and man, there's so much like low budget indie type games on there. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's
Yeah,
not like they're only allowing like
the
the
highest
best of the
quality.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
the
not at all.
Starfields.
Not at all. There's games, dude, that just get destroyed in the ratings. 'Cause they're like, this game is garbage, and there's like no repercussions to this, whatever.
Well, look, the Tiny Build library, which does great on the Xbox Arcade or Xbox Live, whatever their Xbox Gold, whatever, it does great there. It's had no problem porting to the Quest because exactly
Mm-mm.
what you said, they're not the highest graphical games ever. And that I agree, there is quite a bit of those on the Xbox store.
Yeah,
And
and
we
that's
talk about
why I say a lot that there's so many games that you play them on flat screen, and you go, this is just made for VR because it's almost like that VR environment where it's better off in VR than it probably would be on the flat screen.
yeah, we talked about it last week. I've talked about it months ago, a year ago, over a year. The greatest end goal would be being able to use a Questline headset on the Xbox and be able to access higher quality VR games. Everybody wins. I buy an Xbox tomorrow like that. I mean,
That
I know I'm
seems to
not
be
the
the
only,
consensus.
and
So
it feels like it's going that direction with like the partnership with the Xbox Cloud Gaming, and it feels like that's the end goal. So that I agree. I don't think that was actually a comment that he thought was going to be as big as it got picked up to be. Like, I agree with your wording, off the cusp. Like he just kind of threw it out. But
yeah,
Matt,
with no intent on like because let's be honest, if they can team up with Meta and do stuff, then they make money.
mm-hmm. So no,
And
everybody wins. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on
but it was still funny though.
with Matt Booty. When I was reading the name, I was like, come on, man. What are the
you know,
chances,
when this guy does corporate events and he gets
Mr.
up to
Booty?
talk. No, it's just everyone going booty, booty, booty. So you get
It's
like
the big
1,000
booty.
employees. It's the boots. No disrespect to Matt Booty, but
Oh,
you
come
could
on, man.
destroy our last name, and I've taken my abuse. So
Oh,
Booty.
yeah. Come understand that this is two people that went
You
through
think
the ringer.
his friends just call him Boots?
Yeah, dude, the fact peanut butter and Ruff. That's all I'm gonna.
Fluffernutter,
Fluffer rougher.
Fluffernutter, Rougher Nutter, peanut butter, some shit like that. Barked
Peanut
at.
butter, peanut butter and Ruff.
How
Yeah.
many how many times have you been barked at?
It was
McScruff.
well, it was big when I was a kid because of the song. It would be "Who Let the Dogs Out." Then they would go
Who?
Ruff,
Who?
Ruff,
Who?
Ruff, Ruff. It's
That
a
I
name built for it too. So I
never
don't
liked that song.
understand Matt Booty. We're just swinging back what we've been hit with,
Nah,
But just
Matt Booty gonna turn his lawyers over on us.
he's gonna be like,
I didn't know he had 5 of them. Jesus.
there's actually a typographical error. It's actually Matt Body, Botty. No, that'd be
It's
funny.
spelled Booty, but
Mhm.
it's pronounced Smith. So I wish you'd get it right.
So just a couple more things.
Bootay.
Just a couple more things to talk about quick. A game that we love in VR, Ragnarok. Not only is it getting a new DLC of a band, it's called the Sabaton Raid DLC. Um, dude, I don't know if that's a band that I've never heard of, or it's going to be a collection of different songs in the DLC. But besides new content coming to the game, it's dropping being VR only, and it's going flat screen on Steam. So Ragnarok is now going to be VR and flat screen, and I don't know how that's going to work,
Mm,
but they're doing it
mm.
because that's a
That
game that
gives flat screen a better advantage, I think.
maybe.
Well, think about it.
Well, is it
In
going to be?
Ragnarok, you have to use your hands, and the
Mm-hmm.
closer you get to the center of the drum, the better, right? In flat screen, the only way you can't joystick maneuver it, so it's going to be button controlled, and you just have to hit it on the center. So
And
to me, you get an advantage.
there is going to be cross-platform races optionally, so you'll have the ability to mix non-VR and VR
If it
users.
comes out for Xbox, I'll get it.
And then there's also going to be, obviously, like the game already has, leaderboards, and then you're going to have the option to be able to sort the leaderboards, mixed together, or you can
By
separate
device.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense too. There's no like competitive esports, so it's like Walkabout. If one device does have, remember when I asked Lucas that, and he goes, "Well, if if one version does have that's not the point of Walkabout,
Yeah, it's
Uh,
Walkabout. There's no money on it. You
kind of
guys
the
don't
same.
bet on your games?
Yeah, no, dude, we're betting big money on every single hole in
$100 a
Walkabout.
hole, you know?
Could you imagine? Oh man,
Dude,
it's like those old
I'd love
stories.
to know that there's some millionaires that are. Well, no, they probably wouldn't. They
You
do
ever
that shit
hear
in a real
about
golf
like the
course.
stories about the mafia calling the Scrabble helpline like so freaking much? You ever hear those stories?
Nah, don't know nothing about no mafia.
Stories on the very very well known. Scrabble ended up having to do something for creating like a 24-hour helpline service because they were getting so many calls about disputes from the mob in Scrabble. It was like the
Hey,
go-to.
is Goomba a word?
Yeah, dude, just at the visual of it, there's so much. It's like
Vinny
there's no
says
way this is.
fucking Goomba is a word. Let's put this lady on the line. No, Goomba's not a fucking you fucking jabroke.
And he put a fucking H on it.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. Tommy's up.
Fucking 5 minutes later, calling back.
Tommy's dyslexic.
I love the visual of it. Dude, you make me laugh. You go, no, I don't know nothing about no mob.
I don't know nothing about no mob, man.
So no,
Wearing a peaky hat. Oh, you
It'll be-
fucking wanky! I don't fucking what you talking about.
So we've seen a couple games go kind of flat screen version with Demio's done it, and now Ragnarok is.
I don't have
joining
no
the club.
Demio on my Xbox. I'm just saying.
It's on PlayStation,
Well, good for
Not on
PlayStation.
not on
I
Xbox.
said the fuck
Goes
outta
back
here.
to your point that you said a moment ago about, well, Xbox shouldn't be throwing stones at glass houses with
Exactly.
content, and because where's your Demio?
Where's my Demio?
No, that would be a huge one to get on the Xbox just for more players,
Mhm.
As well, Apple also, and more non-MetaQuest news, but it's just worth touching on with the headset coming next year for the Apple Vision Pro. Apple released some Vision OS software development kits, so you can kind of start to, do some preliminary
Start making
development.
those apps, folks.
Yeah, I'm not a developer, so I don't fully know. I imagine there's limitations without being able to actually live test on a headset to make sure everything's going smooth. But at least you can start to build some groundwork to work towards there.
Well, it's sounding like they're not making it the world's most difficult process either to make
No,
apps for the.
there's
It's
going to
not a
be some
headset.
there's going to be
It's
some
a spatial
limitations on.
computing device.
I think it's like 1.3 meters around or something like that is the most that you can travel in VR mode before it starts to switch back to mixed reality, which for some games, that's no biggie. Like the ones that you just mainly stand still, you think of a lot of puzzle based games and stuff like that. But that doesn't work for room scale at all. not one bit.
Dude, I'm gonna spend $3,500 and play my worm game in mixed reality.
So I think that that's
Best
something they'll
4K
eventually.
I ever spent.
I think that's something they'll eventually pivot on. You know, I actually.
Do you
I
know
saw
how
s-
pissed I'm gonna be if Candy Crush is like the
Oh, it's gonna be
most
number
played
one.
freaking? You know what I'm saying though?
Start to get pissed now
You
because it's already
spend
gonna happen.
$4,000 to play Bro, I can play it laying down now.
Start
I
to
don't have
get
to hold
pissed
my
now.
hands up, circulation, my fingers getting all tingly.
Start to get pissed now because it's gonna be
That
the
is some
case.
entitled shit, huh?
Yeah, Candy
Holy
Crush Saga.
Moses.
I'm gonna laugh when Candy Crush Saga is one of the most immersive experiences on the Vision Pro headset. Like the developers have had access for a while. They got the shit ready to go,
Oh,
and it's
no.
like the most immersive environment you could imagine. And it's like, wow, Candy Crush Saga is the killer app for the Vision Pro.
#1 selling app.
But yeah, no, I think that's something they'll pivot on.
That'd be
'cause
funny.
I think room scale VR is pretty big. I even saw somebody saying, this one made me laugh. Somebody was like, dude, there's no, if you want to do that type of movement in VR, you should just get one of those VR treadmill things. And I was like, dude, my girlfriend would set me on fire if I put one of those just in the middle of my living room. And was like, this is here for when I play VR now, you know? Dude, it's so big. And it's like, yeah, it's a cool
I
concept.
don't give a shit. I'll put it in my house. I'll fight that fight. Big
But it's a little.
It's not as big as you think.
Yeah, but it's an eyesore. And like imagine
Eyesore, you're gonna be on it more than not. So
and hell no, I
imagine
play
being
VR
able to fucking run.
Yeah, you've been sold. I'm down with the concept, but the actual practice of it, of I don't have the space in my house to try to tell people that if they want to experience like room scale VR, not only do they need to buy a $3,500 headset, but now to properly take advantage of moving around in VR,
You know,
now you need to buy a treadmill for your headset too. It's like, that's the wrong direction, I think.
it's not
So
for
I think
everybody, but
I think
neither is
that
the headset. And if you
I
can
think
afford 4K for a headset, you can freaking afford a couple more for a treadmill.
Oh, I agree. I just think like that VR is going to be for 100,000 people, you know?
Yeah, but honestly, like you said, conceptually, if they could somehow scale that down to even a smaller, which I don't think they can because it's not that big.
No, but they're tall. A lot of the ones I've seen are tall.
Yeah, it would fit in my place.
Mr. Low ceilings
Definitely fit in yours.
hitting your ceiling
I
all
don't
the
think it's
time. It'd be
taller than
tight.
8 feet. You know, I
It'd
mean,
be
geez,
tight.
probably like
But
6.5.
it just made me laugh. It's like, no, how about instead of making people use a treadmill to do room scale VR, we just set a bigger limit than 1.3 meters. But for some apps, it's really not going to be a big deal at all. Like Walkabout Mini Golf, I don't really move around usually all that
Dude,
much.
I still can't wait for thieves to hack people's spatial computers and have a complete blueprint of the ground floor from the mapping, which I believe it does quite well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they better have some really good protection on that thing. I mean, you break into my headset, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, motherfucker's got a couch and it looks like some sort of table, but it's weird.
Oh, you're talking
'Cause
about
I
like the
did-
drawn features that you did in
Yeah,
the Quest 2?
yeah, the ones I did myself. I could put a door wherever there's not a door.
Yeah. 'Cause
Doesn't care.
it lets you kind of draw your Guardian more than just if you want. You know, everybody
Yeah, dude,
does
I did my wall and a window. I did the couch before.
It's a cool concept. It's just to actually take the time to do it all accurately.
Correct. But, you know, this new one.
Well, the Quest 3 is going to auto map it for sure. That's the word is the smart Guardian. That's gonna be cool. But like you said, yeah, let's make sure that that side is taken care of too. And then just to kind of top things off, I guess. Well, for one, Asgard's Wrath 2, people who pre-ordered it, you know, it was announced that they would get a exclusive home environment, so that's coming. I got to at least mention that. But just to top it off with Meta news, because I talked Apple a moment ago. It's good to end with the Meta, right? Meta announced that they have improved the eye tracking of the Quest Pro in software update. Now, I can't help but feel that's a little bit of Apple having so much attention with their eye tracking that then being like, just so you know, ours is better. But, the Quest 3 isn't going to have eye tracking. So it's interesting to see that they're still putting those resources towards a feature that's not going to exist in their next headset, only exists in an old one. And that makes me think that they go, okay, it's coming in future headsets. Maybe not the Quest 3, but it's something that they're going to eventually have in the consumer headsets. And when they add it, they're already going to have the software top of the line,
Dude, it's a no-brainer because Meta works fast, right? We know that they can pump out legitimately a headset a year with no issue.
Well, all they would have to do is just release all the prototypes that they play with and throw away and that they show off on social media as like theoretical ones. So yeah, definitely.
So Apple comes out with their headset sometime in early 2024.
There's the
I'll
Quest
throw
3 Pro.
I'll throw a month out there and say probably March. And then everyone, they'll wait for the dust to settle, and then they can come out with the Quest 4 a year later, and it'll have all these amazing features that we can afford. So that's
What's
just a
funny?
prediction.
Well, since the Vision Pro was announced, I felt like if you were to have asked people prior to that product announcement, should there be a Quest Pro 2, they would have said no, scrub it. Like just go on to the next the Quest, main consumer line. But I feel like with the Vision Pro announcement, there's more of the consensus now I feel like if you ask people, they would go, yeah, Meta should put out a Pro 2, in a year that has the eye tracking and is more of a direct competitor with the Vision Pro in that regard. It's interesting to hear the whispers and people's little thoughts shift so quickly now that there is another competitor on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Meta's $1,400 price tag wouldn't have seemed crazy. I mean, remember how much that got ridiculed?
Could you imagine if Apple had done that price announcement before the Pro came out, and then
Yeah, we were going
Meta
from
was
500 to 35.
And Meta's like, ours is 1,400, and people would have jumped all over it with no complaint. They'd be like, holy shit, I'm getting a bargain for what I'm actually getting. But now you can get it for $999.
Yeah, that's actually that's very true, and that's kind of to the point that I think that the Vision Pro announcement created a little bit more interest in a Pro line, and it's just funny to see. I think if there was,
dude. There are people who like flat out when they saw the price tag, and I mean there were people who were like on that. Well, if it's only 2,900, whatever 99, I can do it. And then they dropped that 3,500 entry level price. It literally squeezed people out who were probably holding off. I mean, but they're apples to oranges. It's not even. I don't think it's fair to compare the.
No, but I do think that
just by what they're supposed to each do, the
well,
Quest
and on
isn't going
price
to do
tag,
what
it's
it's ridiculous.
the Quest Pro on the high end at the release was 1,400, like you said. Now it's $999, which probably means it should have been $999 from the get go.
Yeah.
So imagine if Meta put out a Pro 2 that was a legit $1,500-$1,600 headset as a little bit more of a direct competitor. I feel like that there's the market for it now with Apple entering. So that's just
they should use the Pro to compete with Apple and not use the Quest to even, because the Quest comparison is non-existent.
But before the Pro existed, I mean, it felt like there was less of a market for the Pro line headset. Where the same thing. If like what you said before, if now they came out with a Pro and it had that $1,400 price tag and it had everything of the Quest 3 though, plus eye tracking and face tracking, all of a sudden that $1,400 price tag, I think we'd hear a lot more people flocking to it, and happily too.
Yeah.
So, just interesting stuff. It's interesting how quickly the VR market and opinions and the overall consensus shifts, very, very quickly. But we actually went long on this one. I didn't think we were going to go so long. So a lot of fun stuff, even remote. It always feels weird for 5 minutes and then boom, it's the same shit. We got our rhythm.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not the same as in person, especially dude. It broke my heart to announce the showcase, not in person together. But huge stuff coming February.
The showcase
2nd.
will speak for itself.
Yeah. And please understand that nobody is holding ourselves to a higher expectation at this point than ourselves. That was a big thing about it when we were ping ponging it. You were like, it was, I remember the first time we were talking about it, you were like, you almost got wide eyed basically. You were like, dude, you realize if we do this, like, it's got to be done good. And it was like, that's a big thing that we've had since day one with this. It's got to be right.
Yeah, if it's not going to be good and it's not going to be done properly, then I don't want to do it.
Like you said, if it's
So-
not going to be annual, if it's not going to be so good that we do it
Yeah.
every year, then
Yeah,
get
I
out of my
wanna do
face
it.
with it. Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like that with our award show too. And those are going to be a separate events this year, but those timings are pretty close. It would be cool to a couple years down the line be able to combine that into just a
It
big
would
thing.
be, but due to time lengths and such, I don't think
Well,
you want to do that.
Let's see where we're at in a year or two with this is the full-time gig, baby. I'll do a whole Rough
still.
Talk VR day, baby.
A day.
It's jokes aside, we do a lot of times
Rough Talk reality show.
2 to 3 episodes in a day. So if you ask me, doing an event that took up a whole day, that's what we do now, So that's no problem to me. But jokes aside, great stuff today. A lot of fun. A lot of good stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're hungry. You got to go eat. We want to play some Ghosts of Tabor, some Quantar, get in some good gaming still too. So, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. No review this week. We had teased an interview last week that last minute we had to push back for unforeseen reasons. But that is coming this week. I promise. This time it actually is.
Yeah, it's a fun one too.
It's got another VR podcaster on it and somebody else as well. It's a really fun interview. So stay tuned for that later this week. And other than that, hope you enjoy this episode. Subscribe, rate us 5 stars, Discord, Patreon, YouTube, and check us out next time.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.